This episode of What the Tech is brought to you by Kaspersky Labs. Over 400 million users around the globe trust Kaspersky Labs to protect their banking, browsing, shopping, and socializing from dangerous online threats. Kaspersky Labs is providing a special offer, 50% off its premium software, Kaspersky Total Security. Go to Kaspersky.com and use the offer code WTT at checkout and get 50% off Kaspersky Total Security. HostPapa. HostPapa's powerful web hosting solution and cloud-based productivity tools are perfect for small business owners, digital entrepreneurs, and freelancers. Go to hostpapa.com/GFQ today and use our exclusive promo code GFQ to save 15% off their most popular shared web hosting packages. That's hostpapa.com/GFQ. And by Casper, an online retailer of premium mattresses for a fraction of the price, because everyone deserves a great night's sleep. Get $50 off any mattress purchase by visiting casper.com/Andrew and enter promo code Andrew at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
What the tech?
Hey, everybody, welcome to What the Tech. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm not joined by Paul Thurrott. I'm joined by the one, the only, Iyaz Akhtar. At CNET right now, in the CNET podcasting studios.
Yeah, you can tell that I'm at CNET because I usually don't keep these mic flags at home, but thanks for having me on today.
You mean to tell me that this is not your house right now? That giant CNET banner is not in your house?
Well, they are connected. You know, it's kind of like a portal, but usually I call the portal the subway and there's like a card involved. But one day they will totally be connected. Wormhole, coming soon.
Coming soon. We're doing a redo of yesterday, actually, because we did a show. Paul and I did a show yesterday, and Paul is in Toronto right now at a Microsoft event, and the internet was absolutely terrible in his hotel, and I felt that it was necessary to kind of do another show, considering I'm going to be away next week. And I don't know if we will be able to do a show next week because I'm in Jamaica and I have no idea what the internet's going to be like in the resort I'm staying at. So I would rather do another one today and kind of offer you guys decent content, something that you guys could hear and listen to normally without it, losing your mind. I have no idea how long you guys are going to last. If you have not listened to yesterday's podcast, I cannot tell you how long you'll be able to last. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 20. Maybe you're going to tell me it wasn't as bad as I think it is. I don't know. So we're going to see what happens. Well, we'll figure it out. Has that happened to you, Iyaz?
The internet connection's been really crappy? Yeah, it's happened a bunch of times. But although most of my own shows, I can't listen past 10 minutes. But that's my own issue.
That's your own issue. Guys, before we go on with the show today, I want to thank our sponsor, and that's Kaspersky Labs. Over 400 million people worldwide are using the award-winning software, the award-winning internet security software from Kaspersky Labs. It gives the power to protect your banking, your browsing, your shopping, and your socializing from dangerous online threats. Here's a great deal for you guys. Get 50% off Kaspersky Labs premium software, Kaspersky Total Security, when you use the coupon code, the offer code, WTT at checkout. I know people that don't use any kind of internet security. They don't use any spyware, any antivirus, any of those things. I get it. Some people don't use it. But for a majority of people out there, it is a necessity. I told the story yesterday, actually. I keep saying last week, like it was, I did the show last week, yesterday, that my father-in-law, I got an email from my father-in-law. I got like 10 emails from my father-in-law over the last couple of days. And one said, stuck. The other one said, car broken down. Another one said, the best one was arrested. It was just the word arrested, and it followed with, hey, I need your help. Click on this link so you could see. Obviously, I didn't click on the link, but he apparently clicked on some link. And if he had something like Kaspersky Total Security, I would have never received that email. I wonder how many people actually got affected by this. Again, 400 million people worldwide use Kaspersky. They're one of the highest rated internet security companies, antiviruses out there. It's a name you could trust. It's not, I've been, on one of the computers here right now, I have Kaspersky on, and I was playing around with it because I hadn't used it in a while because I have a Mac, and I think that I'm safe. Guess what? You are not safe. I better listen to my own advice. Also, the other cool thing is that you get up to 5 devices to put this on. So you can put it on your phone, on your Android phone. You can put it on your Mac. You can put it on your Windows PC. You can put it on your laptop. And you got 2 left. So it's not just one shot. It's not one computer. It's 5 different devices. You get 50% off when you use the code WTT at checkout. I want to thank Kaspersky Labs for supporting the GFK network. And, of course, for supporting What the Tech. Kaspersky Total Security. So, Iyaz.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see where we're going to go with this. So yesterday I said the internet was so unpredictable with Paul, and it was a total disaster. I mean, but I want to talk about this for a second because it's fascinating to me that in 2016, we are still plagued with bad internet in really good hotels.
Well, yeah, I mean, the infrastructure in hotels not exactly something that's state of the art. Internet in hotels was almost like an oddity, a nicety. But at this point, it's a necessity. But having a wired connection in a hotel room, the nicer places have them. And the weird thing is, I've stayed in hotels where the Wi-Fi costs money, but if you bring an Ethernet cable, it's free.
It's free,
which
yeah.
makes it's better. So it's a really dumb thing, but I'm assuming that over the years, this will change.
Yeah, so his problem was that he did not have any wired in his room. It was only Wi-Fi. It was like hotel Wi-Fi. And I've noticed that, I travel a lot, and the hotels that I've stayed in that had wired, once they've upgraded their infrastructure, they've removed the wired connections. And now it's only Wi-Fi. And they charge you for the Wi-Fi, obviously. The Wi-Fi, you're paying most of the time. The one that Paul was staying in was free. I kind of wish that they offered a premium because I would have paid for it, for him to kind of get on a better plan. But it's interesting to me that even in 2016, we're still plagued with these internet issues. And I don't know if it comes down to infrastructure or if it comes down to people's lack of understanding how wireless technology works right. We had a big problem here at the studio where I'm going to sound nuts here, okay? And I really want a viewer to help me out with this. I don't want the Andrew's an idiot, Andrew's this, Andrew's that, because, yeah, with certain things I don't know. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, I have a good understanding of, right? I did some IT work. I've been having this terrible experience with my Wi-Fi. Every time I go into my bedroom, my Wi-Fi just totally cuts off. Like no internet at all. At one point, I had a router set up in my bedroom, and it was connected via coax Mocha lines for Fios. And I was connecting it to be a network extender. So essentially, you connect it via your cable, and it piggybacks off of your other router, the internet connection on there, and it's just an extender. And I had set up the ports and everything. I had set up the IP addresses, so it's not conflicting. But there was an update with Verizon, and it broke everything. So I said, you know what? I don't have time to fix this right now. I'm going to unplug the Mocha cable, and I'm going to unplug it from the power. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You following?
So far, so good.
Okay, so far, so good. Mocha's not connected. Or, actually, I'm sorry. At first, Mocha was connected. So it was still connected, but it was turned off. So I wouldn't have any kind of issues. It started conflicting with my internet. It would actually mess up the IPs in the house for the assigned computers that had those IPs, and it would just shut everything down. I had to literally restart and start it again, and it would work. So I finally realized this thing is getting power somehow. Can't figure out why. It's getting power from somewhere. Either it's getting power from the Mocha line, or it's getting power from the Ethernet connection that's connected to a powered device. So I disconnected the Mocha line. That problem went away. The other day, I'm using a Wi-Fi scanner just to see what the Wi-Fi issue is, and I'm seeing a router called Bedroom showing up. The device is off. Someone explain to me why this thing is it's getting some power.
Well, is every device seeing the Bedroom, or is it just one device?
No. All the devices see Bedroom. And I used a Wi-Fi scanner also to see like the ports, and it's the same ports. The channels, and it's identical channels to my main router. So that was probably the conflict I was having, why it was dropping. But why would it be on if the device is off? So what I unplugged. It was connected to my Amazon TV still. I unplugged it from my Amazon TV. Guess what happened? Disappeared.
So the Amazon TV was actually powering?
I guess there was a very little amount of power going to this thing, and it was enough to create a Wi-Fi signal.
But it was unreliable and didn't work very
Oh
well.
no, it wouldn't work. You couldn't connect to it. It wouldn't work. It was just there. I would see. It wasn't as strong as it was a very small blip, but it was still there. I couldn't understand it at all. If someone could explain to me if this is like a normal thing, if you connect something via Ethernet, it may draw power, or maybe the box is malfunctioning. The router was probably malfunctioning and is somehow drawing power.
I mean, power over Ethernet is a thing. I
It
just
is.
don't know if it works that way.
I could not believe it, and I honestly thought I was losing my mind. So I connected it again to the power, and guess what? Bedroom pops right up in the Wi-Fi list. So bizarre. So this is my own selfish plug right now, and I want people to explain this to me. If you have any explanation on what's going on, please tell me. Please let me know. So what I really want to talk to you about, Iyaz, was Pokemon Go.
Okay.
This thing is taking the world by storm right now. It's augmented reality. The software was developed by another company called, what was the name? Influx?
No, the Niantic. They made Ingress.
Ingress. Yeah,
And
Ingress.
it's part of Google, but they spun out of Google. So they're their own little company that has nothing to do with Alphabet, has nothing to do with
Yeah.
Google officially.
So Ingress came up with the technology and nobody really cared about it. Like nobody was doing this until now. And now this thing is taking the world by storm. And, people talk about VR. The entire first half of this year was all about VR, but I'm willing to bet AR will be the future of all these type of games.
I could see that. I mean, I was looking into. So I played Pokemon Go. I'm sure. Have you played it?
I have been playing. I'm level 5 right now. 5.5.
All right. I'm saving it. I'm waiting to play with my son in Central Park on Saturday. So I'm not gonna. I'm at level 0. Liz is at like level. I think she's past level 5 at this point. But I was reading the study about how augmented reality is grabbing people's attention because instead of you being locked out of reality because you have this thing on your face and you're just kind of like in your own world and you're just isolated, when you have augmented reality and you're using your phone as a viewfinder to see these virtual Pokemon, it adds this element of surprise that the stuff that you normally look at every single day or you don't look at, you just ignore. What happens is it adds a new layer of intrigue and curiosity. So it's actually drawing people in as opposed to having the situation where you're locked out of other interactions. And you can see flocks of people like standing around areas with their phones and swiping like crazy, trying to capture whatever Pokemon that they want.
Oh, it's actually insane. So yesterday, I didn't walk. I drove to meet a friend, and I was at Press, and I was just staying for like an hour. And all I would see is people walking up and down the street with their phones, and they're playing it. I mean, I cannot. It was majority of people walking around with a smartphone in their hand were playing this game, and I was blown away by it. Blown away. Men, women, older men, younger kids. It's grabbed almost every demo's interest. And
Yeah.
I'm not a Pokemon, but I'm too old for Pokemon. It didn't do anything for me when I was younger. My brothers played Pokemon. But this game has grabbed my attention, and I know it's grabbed the attention of many people. And it's honestly, it's number one, it's the simplicity of the game, right? It's an easy game to play. Number two, it's free. Number three, it's augmented reality, and it's probably the most. Would you say this is the first one of its kind to gain popularity like this?
I mean, it has to be. I mean, Ingress would be the first one to gain any popularity. I know my friends on Android loved it. Eventually, Ingress made its way to iOS. And if you guys don't know anything about Ingress, it's essentially the same kind of game. Think of it as a augmented reality scavenger hunt, which is essentially what Pokemon is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Pokemon has about a lot less features than Ingress, from what I've heard. I think this is the first like monster breakout hit where people finally. You don't even need to explain augmented reality. That concept, that phrase,
Yeah.
I think will isolate people. Like, what does that mean? What is augmented reality? Oh, you see a Pokemon when you're looking at it as a viewfinder. I just think it's just so interesting. It's so different that it grabs everyone's attention. So it's definitely the first hit, if nothing else.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a first hit. And, this is humongous for Nintendo. And this may be an eye awakening. I'm a Nintendo fan, and Paul always laughs about it, right? We always joke about the fact that I always buy a Nintendo console because it's something from my childhood. I had a Nintendo when I was a kid, and I'll always have a Nintendo. And, yeah, I don't play games as much, but I also have an Xbox and I have a PlayStation, but I always end up buying a Nintendo. This may be a not a rude awakening, but a positive awakening for Nintendo, that maybe they need to open up their platform a little bit and kind of be okay with having their content on other devices and other kind of platforms. I'm telling you right now, Iyaz, we're going to see a Mario version of this. We're going to see a Zelda version of this, a Metroid version of this. Any kind of franchise that they have, I'm willing to bet they're going to add an augmented reality version running on the same exact engine.
If they do that, I think I've seen a lot of arguments where people are like, Nintendo needs to go mobile now. They have to use this. But Pokemon is a really special phenomenon because the whole idea of it is you have to catch them all. It's built into the theme songs, built into the show. It's built into the very fabric of this whole franchise. So if you're going to be doing a Super Mario game, are you running around getting coins? Or are you looking for princess?
I think it'll be,
castle?
It may be item obviously item acquisitions, and then you'll have, instead of the training places, you'll have the castle. Those will be the castle. You could, like with Zelda, for example, instead of throwing a Pokeball, you could, throw an arrow, or you could shoot your sword or whatever. It's just the opportunity. It's endless, and like you said, Pokemon Go is a really dumbed down version of Ingress. So they could really expand on this once they realize. Obviously, it's not going to happen now. This thing is buggy as hell and it has a lot of issues. But in a year from now, 2 years from now, if Nintendo could come up with a hit every single year and a half.
That's a big if. And the other thing is, like you're saying, that with Pokemon Go, because it's so simple, there's a chance that Nintendo could use this as a learning opportunity. So people that are playing this, I think there's like 15 million downloads already. I read a report that said the app was downloaded more times than Tinder on Android, which is absurd if you think about it.
That is absurd, yeah.
And
it says a lot about people, right?
And it's reaching the level of like almost about Twitter user base. So they've got a lot of people there. Yeah. So if they can use that very simple gameplay mechanics, teach people, you can use your phone as a viewfinder. It's going to kill your battery. They got to figure out that battery problem, by the way, because it's killing phones everywhere.
You know how they fix it? You know how Nintendo fixes it? Having a little Pokemon charger pack. $49.99. They buy one of these, and they spray painted the Pokemon color, and they sell it to, this is like $15. They sell for $49.99.
Powered by Pikachu.
Just have it like a Pokeball. They're selling the watch already,
I really like that idea. So if you guys don't know about the Pokemon Go Plus, it's a wristband. I think it costs about $35. It's not out yet. And you wear it and it attaches to your phone, I think via Bluetooth. So when you get near a Pokemon, it'll actually buzz on your wrist and you can interact with the device to capture the Pokemon. So you're not using your phone as much. It's probably like for when you don't want to constantly have your phone out or kill your phone. I think it's a good idea. I'm pretty sure I'm getting my son that thing because I don't want him constantly glued to this thing.
It's like $200 right now on eBay. You cannot get this thing. The day that the game came out, I saw it on Amazon. It was like $39 and I should have bought it. Unfortunately, I was sitting in a bar and I couldn't get Amazon to work right for me because there was no Wi-Fi and there was no internet connection. Like the 4G was terrible. I'm like, I'll just do it when I get home. And I totally forgot about it. 2 days later, this thing is sold out everywhere.
Can't find it. I think it's back on July 30th. So like it's not coming back for a while.
It's amazing though. I mean, this is the stuff, and I know this is not the technical stuff, but there's a bigger story here, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. You don't have to care for Pokemon, but we talk about things that drive innovation and changes to computing and the way that we use our mobile devices. When the iPhone came out, and the first iPhone sucked, right? When they opened up that app store and you saw games starting to flood the market. And what were the games? Fruit Ninja, right? Fruit Ninja was like the big one. And you had like a whole bunch of these, swiper games, and people were playing it. And then you got like the Bejeweled on there, and then you got the Candy Crush style games. Mm-hmm. This is the next step for mobile gaming, where it's a little bit more personal. Like yesterday, my kid is in a stroller, but we went around the park for 30 minutes. We walked for 30 minutes, and I was just catching Pokemon by the lake. I walked a half a mile that I wouldn't have.
The secret exercise.
It is a secret exercise. That's the big conspiracy here. Michelle Obama's all behind this. She's the one funding this program. This is a giant conspiracy from the government to get you to exercise.
Yeah, the CEO said that is actually a goal, is to get you exercising. And you can capture the Pokemon and everything. But I think the amount of steps that are being taken, literal steps that are being taken, that is such a huge idea. Because Nintendo, they tried this with the Wii. They essentially said, we're going to reinvent the console. We're not going to be about graphics and power. It's going to be about fun, the mechanics of it, and a lot of it's physical gameplay.
Yeah.
The fact that this is almost an extension of that physical gameplay forcing people outside of the house. Although I have seen ways to spoof the GPS, which I
I
think
know. Listen, you're always gonna find people that cheat, and it kind of sucks that people do that. And I get it, like whatever, you're cheating, but the majority of people are not cheating.
yeah,
You
'cause
know,
they like the game. They like to play this thing, and it has enough hooks that people
yeah,
are going to be attracted to it. I don't know how long it'll last. It's only been out for like about 7 days. Let's get that straight. It's only
yeah.
been out for a
And
very
it's only
short
gonna
time.
get bigger. I have a feeling it's only gonna get bigger before it crashes. I don't expect like a crash and burn unless there's things just go terrible. Great timing by them. It's the summer, maybe during the spring when maybe during the fall when the kids are back in school, it'll kind of fall apart then. But I have to tell you, it's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
I can see a lot of kids getting in trouble for playing Pokemon Go in class. It's like, okay, put that away. No, 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 no. I got to catch it. I got to catch this. No, no, no. Put it away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think if anything was going to bring back Google Glass or something like that, this would be the time.
You know what? Great point.
Where-
Right? Can you
Right
imagine?
now-
Okay, so here's a good question for you. If at the time of Google Glass, when Google Glass was gaining popularity,
Yeah.
and obviously now it's a on hold program, right?
Yeah.
When Google Glass was gaining popularity, and there was the vision of a game like this, right? The idea, the concept of this game, where forget about having your phone, you see it right in front of you. You just swipe like this in the air.
Or on the side. With
Or
a
on the
little-
side. Yeah, you do this on the side, whatever it is. Really, you look at the technology that this is going to be used for, and it's going to be really cool. Forget about the game, but talk about the technology. The same thing that we spoke about with Ingress. Ingress didn't gain as much popularity as people imagined it would, but it made way for something like this, and this is going to make way for something even bigger.
I think Google Glass was in desperate need of a killer app. If that came out around the same time, people would be like, this is the thing. This is the killer app. Yeah, they'd use it for directions. Yeah, they'd use it to get notifications. But this is the killer app for some augmented reality glasses. Because why else would you use this? Because you can get this information. And then you also have, again, people understanding I can have the virtual world overlaid with my real world, and it's going to work, which is
Yeah.
very strange.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot more about this in the coming months and weeks and years. But before we continue on, guys, I want to talk about a new sponsor to the show, and it's Host Papa. Iyaz, how many websites have you built? How many times have you hosted a website? Tons.
I've built lots of sites and
Tons.
lots of places.
And you would know also the troubles of having a website, maintaining a website, worrying about getting hacked, website downtime, how to reach tech support, all the tech mumbo jumbo that's thrown at you from some of these other guys that make it seem like you're getting a lot more, but it also brings a panic attack to a lot of people that are not experienced. You're experienced with this stuff. I'm experienced with this stuff. We kind of understand it, and it's still a headache for us. What Host Papa's doing it's actually great. They're simplifying the whole thing. It is a super powerful hosting solution for small businesses. I mean, you don't have to be a small business to have the service, obviously, but they're really catering to the small business, especially with their aggressive pricing. $3.95 a month. They have a great promotion right now with their Pro plan, their mid-range plan, which is $3.95. Normally, it's about $10. It's $3.95 a month. Plus, you get 15% off when you enter the promo code GFQ at checkout. They got a number of plans. They also do domains, and everything that you could imagine. They're a one-stop shop here. But the thing that really stood out about the whole service, and I was talking to a couple of the guys from the company. I just wanted to get some more information, and I wanted to be walk through the entire process of purchasing something, because whenever we talk about an advertiser, I actually want to use it so I know what I'm talking about. Right? We're not just taking ads from people just to do an ad. The thing that really stood out was the customer support. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You got phone, you got email, you got chat. Somebody is always there. And by the way, they're an award-winning support team. These guys are all about supporting their users. And it comes with a no-risk trial. If you're not happy with your service, 30 days money-back guarantee. They're doing some great stuff here. I really, really enjoy it. And it's super easy, actually, to buy it. So you just if you go to hostpapa.com/GFQ, you could sign up there. Check it out. $3.95 a month. I'm blown away by that competitive pricing. It's amazing to me. And they're good people too. Hostpapa.com/GFQ. Sign up there. get 15% off when you enter the code GFQ at checkout. That's GFQ at checkout, hostpapa.com. I want to thank Host Papa for supporting the show, for, of course, supporting the GFQ network. Iyaz, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Very good. How are you doing?
We are friends. People may not know that. We're very good friends. We hang out all the time.
True story, yeah.
We hung out this weekend.
Right, we had my girlfriend's birthday party. We were hanging out for a while at a place called Beetle House, which is a Tim Burton themed restaurant and bar.
It was actually really cool. And the food was great.
Place. Oh yeah, so yeah, I went to the soft open. This is a total aside. I went to the soft open a couple months ago. Man, did that place stink. But when we came back for her birthday,
did they really?
They were just disorganized and the food wasn't as good. But when we came there on Saturday, the 9th of July, they really outdid themselves. They improved in every single position, from the service, food, and drinks. And they're not paying me. I'm just telling you guys this because I was just astonished that they had turned it around so much, because it's a good place.
Excellent. So, I wanted to talk to you. You actually submitted a story here, which is great, about the Galaxy S7. And it failed customer reports of water resistancy. And this is the active. This is the heavy duty one, right? This is the one that you could kind of drop and you don't have to worry that it's going to kind of fall apart and break. And I was actually surprised to see this, that it failed the water resistancy test, considering this has been a major, major selling point for the S7.
Yeah, so this is weird. So the S7, let's get this part out of the way in the beginning. The S7 and the S7 Edge passed all of Consumer Reports testing. Now, we're recreating some of these tests at CNET. We've seen the S7 Active fail as well. So here's the thing. The S7 Active is an AT&T exclusive variant of the Galaxy S7. It's ruggedized. It has physical buttons. And like the other S7s, it's supposed to be water resistant, up to 5 feet for about 30 minutes. And so what Consumer Reports...
Up to 5 feet for 30 minutes. So it's supposed to survive.
Right. It's supposed to be able... And you're supposed to take the phone out of it, obviously let it dry off, and it will function like normal. In their testing, what they did was they had this pressurized container of water, because they're not going to just have these giant tubes of water. And when they simulated about just under 5 feet, so it's not, that's the actual limit of the rating, of the water resistance rating.
Yeah.
When they tested it out, one of the phones had water in the cameras. It had moisture in the cameras. It also, the screen was busted entirely, a lot of green lines. They repeated the test with the second one, same moisture in the cameras, screen was busted, and water got into the SIM tray for the second one. So they were shocked to see that the S7 Active, what AT&T calls the toughest S7 there is, that thing failed, whereas the other ones did fine with the water. Now, when it comes to like dropping the S7 Active, how tough it is, it's pretty tough on that standpoint, because we tested it out here. Like, we throw that phone around. But the water resistance thing is kind of a surprise.
I was actually, that surprised me the most. And I have to tell you, I have the S7 Edge, okay? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this on Saturday. It's a very delicate phone. It feels great in your hands, and it's light, but it's very, it's a sturdy, it's dense. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a dense phone, but it's a very delicate phone. I have never, in all the years that I've had a smartphone, I've never cracked the screen. Okay, never cracked the screen. 2 days into having this, I dropped it, and it wasn't a bad drop. It wasn't a bad drop at all. I cracked the screen because it curves. It fell like this on its side. It cracked the entire thing, and it shattered the screen going all the way up.
So that curved screen. So there's no real great proper bumper or case for that thing, because you can't cover up that curved screen.
No, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do, yeah. So I was actually surprised.
Normally when you hit an edge, you might have a bend in the actual device. Yeah. But this is all screen, so it's a real problem.
So this is actually surprising. So you guys are running the tests now, right, on the device?
Yeah, so this is like ahead of the game, so we'll tell you what happens there. So we're going to publish these soon. But at CNET, we tested out one of our actives, and this device failed in a regular bucket of water that was about maybe like less than a foot deep, which we were very surprised by. But we're going to have some caveats on that, because with this phone, we have thrown it around. We've done a lot of the drop tests with it. We've beaten up this phone, so we don't know if that played a factor. We have some secondary tests happening in San Francisco right now to see what else is going on with the device, because we want to see what's going on with the S7 Active, because this is supposed to be a really great phone, and if it can't survive water, it's surprising, because they also say things about underwater photography in the ads for this thing, and they always claim how great it is. And if you're gonna have this bulky phone, because it's much more bulky than the S7, it should have all of the protection that they're claiming.
So that's interesting. I didn't even think, when you said it was water resistant and you could go, up to 5 minutes, you could go into how much of water? How deep?
It was just under 5 feet, so you can't go past 5 feet,
Okay.
or actually up to 5 feet for 30 minutes. That is, you can keep it underwater for 30 minutes,
Okay.
and then once it dries, it should be fully functional.
So I wonder how many people are actually taking these phones and going underwater.
I don't know. I don't know if they've ever released actual stats on that,
Yeah.
but I would assume that if you're going to push that, I could see people doing that like at a fountain at a park or something,
And just
or
putting it in there and just snapping a photo, I guess. Yeah.
because they promote the heck out of that. There's so many videos I've seen at Samsung where they're just taking phones, just dumping it into fish tanks, and you're like, well, I've seen it enough times. If I see it enough times, I might just try.
You may want to try.
Like if I'm playing with my son.
Who's buying this phone?
The Active?
Yeah, like who's buying this version of the phone? Like who's there? Because it's a lot thicker. It's not a thin phone.
Yeah, it's essentially an S7 that's got a perma case, right?
Yeah.
It's a very chunky case. I think it's meant for like, ruggedized kind of usage, maybe potentially parents who constantly lose it. You have a phone drop out of your hand because someone just swats at your hand, and boom, there
Parents
goes
with horrible children.
Well, I mean, look, these kids are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Sometimes they move, and you're like, oh, I did not see that coming, because they did not know they were going to move like
Yeah.
that. So I think it's meant for a particular kind of customer, because Samsung also doesn't have this variant out for any other thing. It's not that they have an S7 active, like an S7 support for Sprint, and S7 like rugged DC mode for Verizon.
Yeah.
They just this one thing. So it's very particular. It might just be Samsung trying to get more money out of everybody.
Whenever I hear like the rugged or I hear like active, I always think of those Panasonic phones for like construction sites. You could you could set a bomb next to that thing and it'll survive. Like the thing is like super thick. It's all rubber around it. I think of construction workers. That's who's buying this phone.
There's the cat phones for that. There's with the same brand as Caterpillar, CAT, giant phones. They have like infrared thermal imaging on the thing, and like you can essentially like just slam it onto concrete from like 30 feet and it works. These numbers might be off, but there's a lot of cat phones out there that I was looking at. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have a case on my phone. Let's have something built as tough as this. But then again, it's a brick.
It's amazing though. I mean, we buy these beautiful, beautiful phones. I mean, here, I'll show you. I mean, for people who don't have this phone, I could actually pull it up here. You can see how, I mean, it's super thin, it's stunning without a case, and then you put a case on this thing and that's it, It looks like everything else out there.
It loses that beautiful look. And my iPhone 6 is like that. I'm like, why do I have a case on this thing? Essentially because I want to sell it later, because I'm not going to, after this, I'm going back to Android.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've essentially customized my iPhone 6 where it sort of works like Android. It's not jailbroken, but there's enough widgets where it almost operates properly, as I would say. And so I'm looking probably towards the next Nexus devices, because I want some more control over what's happening with my phone. And with the iPhone 6, which is an old one, it's still not there.
I'm tempted all the time, and then something like this happens where I just crack the screen 2 days into having it, and so I called Verizon. They said, no, sorry, it's gonna be $250 to get a replacement.
Nah, don't do that.
Sorry, $250. So I'm just, you know what? I'm sucking it up, and I'm just using a phone like this at this point. Until
Well, it's not that crack. It's not like it went all the way across the screen or
No,
anything.
it is. It is actually terrible. You can't see it, but it starts here and it goes all the way to the bottom, and the bottom is all cracked, and the fingerprint sensor is no longer working.
Yeah, well, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Fingerprint has to work. Like
It sometimes works. Once in a while.
The iPhone sensor is just really good.
Yeah.
Versus my S6. My S6 is just like, okay, maybe it's you. Like, yeah, it's me.
Another thing that came out is that Samsung is getting ready to launch the Galaxy Note 7. I cannot believe we're at the Note 7 now.
Well, they skipped a number, right? Like the Note 5 was the last one.
No, wasn't there a 6?
No, there's been no 6. Technically, you could find a 6th one if you call the Note Edge a numbered one, but they didn't.
That's what it is, yeah.
So they technically are at a 7th iteration, but they are skipping it just to match up with the Galaxy S line.
So are we doing the, I guess they're doing the Microsoft plan, right? Go from 8 straight to 10.
I mean, it's going to be, it's lucky number 7, right? You got S7, Note 7, and the Note 7, like we've seen the leaks for this thing, and Nothing official, so I haven't broken any NDAs. I'm just talking about all the reports I've seen
Yeah.
about the S7. The coolest feature that I keep seeing is there's twofold. The iris scanner I think is going to be fun because why not? But the secondary feature that I keep hearing about is this lighter touch UI. It's supposed to be a TouchWiz interface. So it's called Grace UX or something. A lot less heavy-handed. So Android is more like Android, which is much more intriguing to me because I like stock Android on devices.
I do too.
But Samsung actually has some pretty cool features. You know, the power saving modes are pretty good. They have some good stuff in there. It's just very heavy-handed. So if this pulls it back, very intrigued when this comes out on August 2nd.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. As someone that, you I'm sure will be covering this. I've seen
this thing.
Yeah. So I've seen the UI, the possible new UI for TouchWiz. I don't hate TouchWiz as much as other people do. I have TouchWiz on this thing, and I've had it since the S6, and I don't think it's heavy. It's not like it used to be with the S5 and the S4, where it was so overwhelming. They made it a lot lighter. I don't necessarily care for the stock Android buttons on the bottom, the touch button. You know what I'm talking about? Yep. I would rather have like a physical button on the phone. So I kind of like this. I've turned off like the Edge stuff, like the Edge, like what are they called? Like no,
Edge apps.
No, what are they called? The Edge, like not a closet. Is it like a closet? They call it like something where it disappears. You can pull it out. The drawers. There you go. I don't care for that. But when you look at Samsung's lineup right now, you have the S7, you got the S7 Edge, and then now you have the Note 7. The Note 7 is a curved display, correct?
From what we've seen, it kind of looks like the Edge you have there. So it's got a dual curved screen, same as before.
What's going to be the big differences here between the two phones? If why would I choose this over the Edge? Because the Edge 7 is a much thinner phone from the looks of this.
It's a really good question. I just know in the past when it comes to Samsung's Note line, they usually they push it to the, no pun intended, they push it to the edge about what this thing can do. So the features that ended up in the Note eventually wind up in the S line. So in this case, obviously it's got the stylus to differentiate everything, right? If you want to be able to write on a device, you can only do that on the Note. It's supposed to be very stylus heavy. If you saw the invite that they put out, it's all about the stylus. Even the loading screen looks like it's a 16 little styli. The Notes, the little 7 is next to it. It says unpacked as a stylus as well. It's going to have a bigger battery. Hellcat's mentioning that. Thank you in the chat room, Hellcat M. It's going to have a much larger battery, so that's going to be important. Otherwise, they're almost reaching parity when it comes to features. So I'm thinking that software differential is going to be interesting. I want to say they introduced way back when like multitasking on the Note before they ever did on the S. So
like the split view. Yeah.
So they might have something up their sleeve when it comes to that. But you're right. I don't know what's going to differentiate it. Maybe eventually it's just going to join up, because why isn't it a Galaxy other than the stylus? I mean, not Galaxy. Why isn't it an S? It's a Note, right? What's the difference? Just the stylus. I think that's the biggest hook right now.
Yeah, I've always said that. I mean, Samsung has gotten a lot better with this, but they need just one line, and you just go from there.
Oh well, they have. I just did a top 5, and we're talking about one of the phones that has like some of the best battery lives, and I think it was Samsung's Galaxy J3. And I'm like, they have a J3? What's a J3?
What the hell's a J3? Yeah.
It's like an under $100 phone. It's got like 14 hours of battery life. It's like if you bought it like 3 years ago, like it'd be an amazing phone. But like right now, it's like a 3-year-old phone.
Yeah.
But it's super cheap. I think they've cut it down. I mean, they used to have a ton of phones, a lot of different form factors. They are firmly behind the Galaxy line between the S and the Note, and they have their variants so they can pick up the low end market because they have really mature software too. So like their variants of Android, they have Knox, that really good security feature on.
No, I actually preferred. I was an Android purist for the longest time, and the more I've used Samsung, the more they've gotten better, and the less I'm annoyed by these nuances that HTC will do or Motorola. Well, Motorola's pretty. LG, for example, is terrible at this point. I cannot stand the LG UI.
LG is unfortunately heavy-handed.
Very. And that's how they subsidize. I mean, Samsung does the same thing too. They kind of subsidize it with their heavy-handed applications, and they're doing all these different services on here and 5,000 different ways to do something. It's bizarre to me. It's very, very bizarre how they, make these things terrible. But we'll see what happens. S7, August 2nd is the announcement in New York City.
And for the Note 7, and
Note
I wouldn't
7.
say terrible. It's not. I think. Look, it's been much worse. I was there when they introduced Android, so I'm like,
Oh man,
it's much better.
it's got, you know what, Android 2, from Android 2 to now. Android 2 was like the first, like, wow, this is actually a competitor. But it's gotten so much better. So much better.
So yeah, our complaints I think are like minimized by the fact that it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Guys, we have we're getting close to the end of the show, but I have one more sponsor to talk about, and that's Casper. I've been talking about Casper for so long. Iyaz, do you have a Casper mattress?
I do not have a Casper mattress. You've been telling me about this for a while. So you have one, I assume?
I do, and I sleep on it every night. It's my regular mattress. That's what I use now. So when I got the Casper mattress, and I was talking about this yesterday, I was really honest about the experience where it comes in a box, right? It shipped to your door. It's not like some big freight company that's moving it and they're bumping into things. So it sat in the box until it was time for the read. Like it was coming close time for the advertising and I had to use it. And I let it sit in the box for like 2 weeks. And I was really debating, should I throw my couple $1,000 mattress, a very expensive mattress. It was, one of those, I went to one of those shops and they put me down and they're like, oh, you're because I have a horrible back. I have 4 herniated discs. And they're like, well, this is where your trouble area is. So you need this mattress and then you need this firmness and this. It was like, it took like 2 hours to buy this thing. I ended up getting the mattress and I absolutely hated it from day one. It was the worst mattress I ever bought, I ever slept on. I would have rather slept on a cheapo $100 mattress than what I had spent thousands on. It was one of the most boneheaded moves I ever made. So when I got the Casper mattress, I was still under the impression that if you spend the money, it's good, right? It's better. The more you spend on a mattress, the better it is. I finally said, you know what, hell with this. I threw my mattress out. I put the Casper on the floor because I didn't even have the platform yet. I had to buy a platform for this thing. And it was the best sleep I ever got, and it was on the floor on my Casper. And then I got ordered the platform, and I got it in a couple days, and I set up, for the bed, the foundation, not the platform, the foundation. And I've been sleeping on this thing for almost 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. And I tell everybody, even if they're not advertising, I tell everybody, go with a Casper. It is seriously the best mattress I've ever slept on. Here's a great deal for you guys. Save an additional $50 as one of our... You heard that New York thing come out? You heard it? $50. Save an additional $50 as one of our audience members by going to Casper.com/Andrew and entering the promo code Andrew at checkout. These are great people. They're a very good company. And they're so confident about their product. You get 100 nights for free. You can sleep on this thing for 100 nights. If you don't like it, you return the mattress, you get your money back, no questions asked. I guarantee you're not going to return it. I guarantee you're going to be really happy with it. Casper.com/Andrew. One other thing, it's not in the copy, but this is something that irks me. If you guys are on Facebook and God forbid, you search for a term, you see all these ads come out for the same exact thing, which I have a theory that Facebook spies on you. It's a whole separate thing that they listen in. I got to talk to you about that, Iyaz.
Okay.
I get mattress ads constantly now. And a lot of these are like rip-offs of Casper. They're pretending in a weird way to kind of trick people into thinking, it's like, oh, that's that company that does latex and memory foam. It's that same company. It's not Casper, unless it says Casper. A relative of mine ordered one of these mattresses and they absolutely hated it. They ended up sending it right back and they went and bought a Casper. So be careful when you're buying it. Make sure it says Casper on it. Make sure it has a Casper logo. Make sure it says Casper. Casper.com/Andrew. Get $50 off as one of our audience members and enter in the promo code Andrew. I want to thank Casper for supporting the show and, of course, supporting the GFQ Network. They've been with us for so long, and I absolutely love these guys. And they're in Manhattan. They're right here. I should go and visit them. Hey, you know who I am? I sell your mattresses. You think they'll care?
Who are you? You're like Casper.com. They're like, no. /Andrew. Like, yes.
That Andrew. Oh, you're /Andrew. So
exactly.
I want to talk about this with you. I received this in the mail by a company called Best.
It appears to be an iPad.
Okay. I received this from this company. They were very nice. They said, listen, we are looking to kind of get more attention in the States, and we would really love it if I got to wipe my fingerprints off of this thing so I could demo it. We would really love it if you did a fair and honest review of this. And when they emailed me the first time, and I kind of didn't respond. I totally forgot about it. And I said, you know what, send it to me. I'm really curious about this because we've spoken about a lot of these unknown Chinese manufacturers of tablets and laptops that are really, really cheap, dirt cheap. And the specs look pretty decent, right? You look at these specs and you're saying, wow, that's interesting. If this was a Samsung or this was something else, you would probably pay upwards of $500 for. Well, this is the one that I got here. It's called the it's the X98 Plus 2. Okay, so when you look at this thing, I'm going to hold it up here, you would say this is an iPad. It looks exactly like an iPad 3. I mean, exactly like it, right? The back is a little different, right? You got a little white here. But would you say this is an iPad?
From the front, it looks just like an iPad. Actually, that on the back there with the little antenna area, that's about similar. If you had the white one, you had that same kind of look. And you're right, the iPad 3, because I forgot that they switched to that Air style where they have the thinner bezels on the left and right.
Yeah, so remember the iPad 3 was a little thicker than the iPad 2. So it's exactly like an iPad 3, maybe a little bit heavier. But this thing runs Android and Windows 10, full Windows 10, Windows 10 Home. So I have it right here. I'm actually shocked how good this thing is because I've been using it for 2 days. Now, this is not a review of the product, not selling the product, not an advert, nothing like that. But I'm actually really surprised. I thought I would hate it. I thought I would go into this saying like, well, it's not that. I mean, how fast could it be? How great could it be? I've been using this thing for 2 days in the Windows experience. I've yet to really spend time in Android. I'm actually really surprised, Iyaz, by this device.
So let me ask you something. So I'm seeing this device. It's 9.7-inch screen. It's got an Intel Cherry Trail X5 CPU, which I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a mobile lineup. Yeah.
Also it has LTE, or no? This must be this is a mistake. It says 4G plus 64G on the ad copy. Not ad copy. The actual copy I'm seeing here. It must be 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of space. How can you attach peripherals to this thing?
What? Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
With what? Is it like a USB? Is it? How do you attach things to it?
So you got micro USB, you got HDMI, you got HDMI and micro USB. So it comes with a dongle, micro USB to regular USB.
Oh wow, okay. I'm looking at the price. It's like $200. See, now I'm actually intrigued. Now I don't need a Windows machine, but I wouldn't mind having a Windows machine in that form factor. So, Hellcat's asking, does it run Windows smoothly?
Does it run Windows smoothly? Yes. As far as smoothly as I mean, you would imagine on a lower, it's not blazing fast, but I'm clicking on stuff and it's responsive. So let me pull it up on here. It's fascinating to me. 170 something bucks. So let's do what I can pull up here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it or is it too bright?
It's visible, but you're in a very white screen.
Okay, so tell me, let's see. What can I do on here?
Well, try to hit the start menu to see. That's a small target. Can you hit anything in the tray on the bottom right?
Yeah, so let's see. Let's hit the tray here. We could open up the Intel properties.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like touch responsiveness and targeting, that's a curiosity of mine because it seems like it's an iPad 3 build. Does it have the same kind of responsiveness?
I have yet to use a Windows 10 tablet, right? I haven't used a Windows 10 tablet, so I don't know how responsive it would be, all in all.
Well, I mean, you trying to get to targets, the way I saw you navigate just the tray and getting through the little menus, it seems like it's following you just fine because, a finger is just a terrible input device.
Oh, it's terrible, yeah.
Targets are tiny, so if it can actually get tiny targets, that's what I'm intrigued by. Like, let's see what else you can do with it.
Let's go to Explorer. So here we go. I'm clicking on one by one.
Yeah, I mean these are small targets.
It's not bad at all, and the battery life has been pretty decent. I'm surprised to see more. There hasn't been more talk about devices like this. I have yet to try any gaming on here. I know people are asking. I haven't tried any games. I've just been using it for web browsing. I've done some video stuff, like I watched GFQ on here, and it looked fine. There was no stutter. I was watching in 720p. I didn't really test the battery life too long on there, but it's fascinating that they're coming into the market and it's not bad, and it's a full-fledged copy of Windows. It's not this. It's also a legal copy of Windows. I spoke to them and they assured me that everything, and it activated perfectly fine. It's not like some hacked version of Windows where you can't do updates, which I've seen from some manufacturers. The only question I have is who's buying this? Who's going to buy this device? And would people be interested on spending sub $200 for some sort of hybrid device like this?
I think it's kind of a hard sell just because of the name. It's called TechLast. Is that what it is? TechLast X.
TechLast.
Yeah. So like that's the first hurdle, right? Like, who's heard of this company, and at this price, how good could it be? So I could see it being a test device. For myself personally, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I could definitely use having a Windows 10 machine in my house just to play around on, and it does Android on top of it. So I'm curious how Android performs on Intel. I know there's special builds for it. I just don't know if that's going to mean that the updates are delayed when it comes to that. But the full-fledged Windows machine at that price sounds pretty good. Although, again, it's a tablet. So if you're using Windows as a desktop, or you want a keyboard or a mouse or something, it's not going to be as useful. So it's a strange little duck, I think.
Yeah, it's a very interesting device. I'm very curious by it. Very, very curious. $200. 174. So I'm gonna be doing some more reviews of this thing. I want to get the Android. So here's one thing I'm afraid of. I have yet to put any of my personal information on here. So I really want to get more information regarding, what kind of ROM this is, what kind of software is running in the back. I have yet to see anything that says there's spyware or anything like that at all. It's just I'm doing it before I put out a full review. I want to learn a little bit more about this. But very interesting. 174 this thing, and it's essentially an iPad with Windows and Android on it, which is a bizarre device to have.
I'm just gonna have to come over just to mess with that thing.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Well, I'm gonna see you on Saturday. Maybe I'll bring it with me.
Go ahead. Well, while we're watching wrestling, we can record it with the video camera on there. See how good that camera is on the back.
See how good it is.
We'll be those guys recording with a tablet, a Windows tablet, no less.
And Paul Throck could come and just knock it out of our hands. That's his special power. He shows up whenever someone's recording with a tablet and just knocks it out of your hands and says, "What are you doing?" That's his move. Guys, go to our website, gfqnetwork.com. All things Iyaz. Go to Iyaz on Twitter, at Iyaz.
That's me.
Not the rapper. You're not the rapper.
No, the singer is at Iyaz Live. He's an awesome guy. I've talked to him a bunch of times. He also knew of me. His grandfather used to watch me on some other network, if you would believe that or not.
That's amazing.
But if you want to follow me, at Iyaz, Iyaz, you'll see all my work at cnet.com and gfqnetwork.com and other places. But Twitter's the best place because I talk a lot there. Go figure.
Yeah. You do talk a lot on Twitter.
It's true.
Iyaz does a bunch of shows, and also Quest for Peace is going to be coming back soon.
Yeah, I got a guest list lined up.
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is coming. So if you are wondering about how to find happiness, and boy, if I've been trying, that's what this show covers. So check that out.
Yeah, I'm constantly searching as well. It's an uphill battle for me.
That's why you keep buying tablets.
That's why I keep buying tablets. So I did not buy this. It was sent to me to review.
Well, this is why you have found peace.
I have found peace because I'm reviewing this. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zarian. We did a double, 2 shows this week due to scheduling. I'm going away next week, and yesterday the audio was terrible, so I wanted to do a bonus for you guys. And Iyaz was so gracious enough to step in and hang out with us. We're going to do our bonus show right after this. We're going to do another 15 minutes talking to you guys. I want to talk to Iyaz a little bit about this weekend. Will be a plan for this weekend. So if you're watching live, stay tuned. We're going to continue on with that. If you're listening to the podcast, go to patreon.com/whatthetech. There you go. Patreon.com/whatthetech. You could go there and you can fund us anything you want, and you get access to all these bonus shows, and it really helps us out. It funds us in order to, continue doing this. We got to pay editors. We got to pay for hosting. So all that goes to the expenses of doing the show that we absolutely love doing. Patreon.com/whatthetech. Guys, we'll see you all next week.